Hey guys, good evening, good evening, good evening. And I am your host, Neka Eminence Timothy. So let's have it. I'm just so excited and revved up. Always on the one, always on the one. The 99, always on the one. You leave the 99. So we are amazed at the results that people are already getting from telling their that they appreciate about them. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I actually did that. I told my husband 3 things I appreciate about him, and he was blushing. To me, I am so excited. So it's actually 9 p.m. and we are live here on Family Boomer. We are here to boom our family. So, welcome once again. Did you tell your spouse 3 things that you like about him or her, and what were their reaction? And first of all, how did you feel? How your partner reacts. It's not about the other person, it's about you. How did you feel about what you told your partner? Okay, I want to read from you. I'm looking at the comments. I want to read from you. I want to read from you. So tell me, what was their response and how did you feel? I felt so good. So our speaker, our guest is on. Okay, so we're bringing her on.
Hey, good evening.
Hi, ma'am.
Good evening. How are
Welcome.
you doing?
Yes, he is glad. We are so glad to have you join us. Okay, so hi, Vivian. Vivian, thank you for joining us. Hi, Esther. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so before I introduce our speaker, just tell us where you're joining us from. Vivian, where are you joining us from? Esther, where are you joining us from? And remember what we talked about in the group? We asked us to tell our spouses. So in this case, Vivian, your husband, Mrs. Esther, your husband, 3 things that you appreciate about him, and how did you feel, and what was their response? What was his response? So I did that. I told my husband that, and he made a very big promise to me. In fact, someone in the community who hasn't spoken with the husband for months did that, and the husband is coming home. We are so excited. Like this is beautiful. Vivian is joining us from Delta State. Thank you for being here. Okay. Esther, please could you tell people in the group that we are live and our speaker is here? Okay. So I would love to read from you. Mama, please give us just a few minutes to round up this. Let's get to find out the reactions. So I would always tell us that appreciation works better than criticism. So instead of criticizing your partner, appreciate them. Okay. And then before you even do constructive criticism, you also have to start from appreciation. Okay. Esther is joining us from Kano State, Nigeria. Thank you too. Thank you for joining. Okay, so now somebody's husband is coming home. This is beautiful. She says she never ever thought that she will get this kind of response from him. This is a man who hasn't taken responsibility for their 2 children. She has been shouldering it all by herself, and here we are, a marriage being mended. I am so excited. So, did we do that? I want to read from us in the chat box. Or you forgot? Did you do it? I did it and I got promise I will share with you what he told me. Hi Grace. Thank you. Grace is joining us from Port Harcourt. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so without wasting our time, maybe at the end of the broadcast, we'll go back to our just doing that to see if more people can join up. Okay. So good evening, Bright Grace. Thank you for joining. So since we have our speaker, we will not keep her waiting, and we're going to start off immediately. Like I posted her profile in the group, her bio. Her bio is an intimidating one, and I appreciate it when women are doing well in the male-dominated field, especially academically. She studied mathematics, and that's beautiful. And then she's also so I would allow her to do the proper introduction herself. But tonight we are talking about intimacy in marriage. And like Chinua Achebe would always say that if the bed is shaking at night, just know that the home is at peace. So we have Mrs. Vera Chikeze okay with us. Okay. So is my network freezing up? Oh wow. Is it clearing now? It's still freezing. Ah.
You are frozen.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay. So, ma, please take up. Continue from there. Maybe my network will clear up. Thank you, ma.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's so good to be here. My name is Vera Chikeze. Okay. I don't know why she says my profile is intimidating, but we give God all the glory all the same. He has been faithful. Okay, so I'm being told that I'm talking to married people, and I'm supposed to be talking about intimacy in marriage. And whew, it's a whole lot to unpack and unravel, but a lot of people think that um, marriage is all about sex, or sex is all is that's all we do in marriage, right? Unfortunately, unfortunately for unfortunately for them, right? That it's beyond it's beyond sex, right? And it starts from understanding your differences. So the man is different from the woman in every ramification of life. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Okay. So the man is different from the woman in every aspect of life. So no matter how you want to tweak it, change it, think about it, we're different, right? And our being different also translates into the way we receive love, sex, intimacy. So I'll start by telling you that sex is not intimacy and intimacy is not sex. But where intimacy is done right and well, sex will work, right? In an aspect where um, people think that to get closer to each other, they need to have lots of sex. And that's one of the lies they are being told as singles, or that's one of the lies the devil tells single people, that just remove your clothes, he will love you, or just show her yourself, she will love you more. To think that sex builds intimacy. Nope. Intimacy actually builds sex. Intimacy actually builds sex. So let's even start from what is intimacy? What is intimacy? Intimacy, I'll give you my definition of intimacy. Intimacy is into me see. Into me see. That is to say that you see me, you know me, you understand me. Even in the Bible, when we talk about an Adam knew his wife, and Abraham knew his wife, you know, that knowledge is beyond sexual knowledge, right? And so one thing I also like to make men know, I don't know if we have some men around. I love to make men know is the fact that you can't you can't use sex to build intimacy, and you cannot wiggle your way through it, because women are emotional beings. So I'm going to get right into it. Sorry, I'm trying to find my slides. Um, I'm going to get right into it. Now, building intimacy. What's the first way of building intimacy? Quality time. Spending quality time with each other. Spending quality time with each other. Um, with what is happening in the world today, a lot of couples don't spend time with each other. When I say couples, I don't mean to sitting down in one place for 24 hours. No, I mean the state of your heart. That's what I mean by quality time. State of your heart. What are you doing? What are you thinking about? Quality time. I had a situation sometime where um, a particular couple, the husband somehow got into some things that was really not good, and the wife was furious, and she made whole lot of noise and issue about it. And the question I had for her was, where were you? That was the only question I had for her. Where were you? And she kept saying, no, she was there. She was in the house. This, that, 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 that. She went on and on and on. I said to her that my question of where were you has to do with the state of your heart. Where were you? Where was your heart at that time that led your husband astray? Now, I'm not saying that it's okay for the husband to misbehave or anything. I'm saying that where, what was the state of her heart at that time? Because if the state of her heart was in the right place, she would have known that her husband was losing out. Ah, I don't know. Am I still on? Am I still on? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? I'm here. You keep logging in and out. Is there a problem?
Sorry, my network kept putting me on and off, so I had to switch to a stable network. I'm back now.
Okay. So, like I said, the first thing is quality time. Find time to spend with your spouse. Now, when we are dating, we really don't talk about this because, I mean, everybody wants to be with each other at that time, right? So you have sometimes you have to travel long distance to be with your spouse. Other times, it keeps going like that. But the truth of the matter is, you need to be able to make out time for your spouse. If you say you love this person, you will spend time with this person. If you say you love this person, you will spend time with this person. The things you would normally do when you were dating. That's basically it. The things you would normally do when you were dating. Hold hands, go on dates, even in the marriage. Have date nights. Date night doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to a movie or you have to go to a spa or something or eat out. No, you can actually create date nights in your house, in the comfort of your home, just the two of you. Date nights, spend quality time with each other. Another way to build intimacy in marriage is communicate. Communicate your needs, your wants, your desires, your thoughts. Get rid of assumptions. Never assume that, oh, because yesterday this person liked this, that means that today and forevermore. The only constant in this our lifetime is God. He's the only one that was yesterday, is today, and forevermore. We are variables. We will always change our time. We will always change the time. So don't build your marriage relationship based on assumptions. Communicate. I like this. Oh, I like this, but I think we could have done it better. Right. Oh, this thing, I'm really not in the mood today. Can we reschedule? So long as the other partner understands. And but you need to be able to communicate effectively. So to build intimacy, we're talking about communication. Beautiful communication between spouses. Right. Now, communication whereby nobody is assuming anything. Nobody's saying that, okay, maybe, should as if, should it be, everything is clear. This is what I want. This is what would work for both of us. If we do it this way, this way, this way, this way, we would get this result. Oh, but this thing you're saying, I'm not really comfortable with it. Really? Okay, so what can we do? See, there's a communication now. There is no every time. That's what you always like. It's today. What do you want today? And how can I be of service to you today? We're not living based on yesterday's service. It's okay if you liked yesterday, but you need to be clear on today, right? So when I talk about communication, communication is in three aspects. The first aspect of communication is communication before. That's where you communicate your expectations. That's where you say, oh, this this experience we are going into now, I would like to have an orgasm. Really? Now your partner is aware that this is where we are going to. Now your partner now knows that, okay, if this is where we are going to, what and what and what and what do I need to do? Are you getting me? Or do we need to do so that we can achieve the goal? Nobody is coming in based on assumptions. Oh, my wife likes her. She likes when I touch her breast. It could have just been yesterday, and she had a baby this morning, and by next week, her breast is her baby food. It's no longer a sex organ. So we need to be able to communicate before and then during communication during whatever is happening, whatever is being done. Oh, I like it. And I don't really like it though. You need to be able to say it as it is with a pinch of salt. I think the Bible says that. Let your words be seasoned with salt. The Bible says we should use salt. All this what the doctor say we should not put salt again. The Bible says we should use salt. Eh, so let it be seasoned with salt. No attack. You're not attacking anybody, but you're saying that, oh, I like this. Okay, can you dwell here for a bit? Let's tarry around this area for a bit. We don't need, okay, I'm enjoying this. Are you enjoying it? In the act, oh, not after, is a different conversation. While in it, so you're communicating, you're telling each other that, oh, I love this. I like the way this feels. I like the way this feels. I like the way this feels. Oh, I don't like the way, oh, this is painful. There has to be a point where you can say, stop. I'm not enjoying this. Can we try something else? Can we try another style? Where there is no communication, intimacy dies. Take, for instance, our relationship with God. When you say you're going to have an intimate moment with God, there is a talking and there's a listening, and there's a talking and there's a listening. There's a time for you to just sit there and just listen to all God has to say. And there are times when you just sit there and just vent and pour all your heart to Him. But the beautiful thing is that there is communication. We have to communicate.
Okay, to ask, assuming that you are on the go and he's doing something that your partner is doing something that is not actually very pleasurable to you that you want them to change, and you tell them with a pinch of salt like you said, and it gets them angry because they're especially on the spot. Some people may say, leave it now, maybe later we'll talk about it. And there's to having such conversations like it is as it was, as it is, that's how it will be till forever. In that kind of situation, what should the woman do?
Yeah, because I know that most times it's men that have that issue of don't stop me, don't correct me, I'm already on the go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. Um, I believe that communication also comes with compromise and understanding. Sometimes it's not easy to have those conversations during, right? Most times during, what you do is actually change. So yeah, that's, and it's not just pleasurable, it's maybe inflicting pain on you. You can change the style. Do you understand? Sometimes you don't have to say it to change it. You can just reposition yourself. Do you understand? And
Yeah.
then when you get to the third part of the communication, you now explain why you did what you did. Do you understand? Because the third part of the communication is appraisal.
Yeah.
So that's why we now start saying, oh, I loved this. Oh, this was pleasurable. Oh, this was amazing. Oh, I loved it. But you realize when I turned? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a bit of so I have to turn. You have told him without bruising his ego. Do you understand? You have
Yeah.
told him, right, without cutting short the flow. Sometimes you might just if changing is difficult, you might just have to endure for the period and then make sure you deal with it during appraisal. Make sure that you deal with it during appraisal. When I say there are three forms of communication, you talk before. And like I tell people that there's no appraisal without expectation. Like when you're in the office, you have a line manager, right? If you are just doing your deliverables according to your own mind, oh, when it's time for appraisal, that particular boss would not give you a favorable appraisal. And you're wondering, after all I've done, right? And then you ask the boss, you say, "Please, the comment is, who asked you to?" And you're wondering, but that's my job. It's your job, but you did not do it as required of you, as I, your line manager, required it to be done. So the best way, if there are some professional people in the room, the best way to have a good appraisal is to first understand the expectation of the boss. So before you even start trying to knock heads and do all the deliverables in the office, find out so that you're not misfiring. Find okay, for this quarter, what is the goal for this quarter? How do you want me to perform this quarter? What and what and what and what and what and what do you think I need to do? Okay, so with all these things you have said that I need to do, my understanding, you now see, your boss has come with understanding of what you said is this. Now, my definition of communication is what you say, how you say, when you say it, to whom you are talking to, until there's a mutual understanding between both parties. So, when there is no understanding, there is no communication. When there is no understanding, there is no communication. So to you that you need to do this. You say, oh, sir, my understanding of what you have said is that I need to do this. Okay, so I think that do this. This is the way, this is the way, this is the way. What do you think, sir? Are you seeing that there's a communication going on now? Sorry. So when you go back to your boss, okay, so this is my understanding of what you have said, right? And this is how I think I'm going to be able to approach these things you have said. Now is your boss's responsibility. To say, "Hey, you're going too far, oh, you know, do it like this, do it until both of you agree that this is what we are doing."
Yeah.
So now, at the end of the day, when it's time for appraisal, you know what you are expecting if you delivered according to what you and your boss discussed during expectation. So you see, when I tell you that sex in marriage is a whole different ball game from premarital sex. That's why God said we should not even endeavor. Don't even try it. Marriage is beyond plug and play. There's a whole lot of emotional and I would like call it tactical meetings that need to go on for it to be a fruitful experience. So when you have both had this communication conversation before, right? During, it would also limit the stop and start during, because the expectation is clear. Both of you are on the same page. This is what we are doing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It limits, it reduces the conversation during. Then afterwards, it's a blissful afterwards. Oh, that was beautiful. I did not tell you that this that conversation. You know, the goal is clear. Now, if your expectation is to have an orgasm, you could have talked about how how are we going to do this thing to make it work for both of us. Or do we want to have mutual orgasms, or do we just want to do? Now, at the end of the day, if there was no orgasm, right, you can now go back to the drawing table and say, okay, this didn't work, this didn't work, this worked.
Sex
But
is really
eh,
sex is work.
yes, good sex is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So you see all that dream and fantasy and Nollywood and Hollywood of they just open the door, bar, they just tear their clothes, bar, they just fling themselves, fling here, fling here, fling here. In a lie. You are married now. How many times has it happened?
It's a lie, truly.
It's a lie. And then if you are still living in that fantasy world of the movie industry, right? You
Yeah.
will you will because reality sets in and you're like, this guy is not flinging me about. Though. But Kenny Reeves, now when Kenny Reeves just ends, I just fling this one, fling this one. He's not flinging me about. You'll be disappointed. You'll be disappointed. But see, it's both of you's responsibility to make it work. The spontaneous ones, does it happen? Yes, it happens once in a while. It happens. But like I always say, I usually advise you have these conversations so that so that there will be no unmet expectation. There
Yeah.
won't be,
Unmet expectations, truly.
because unmet expectations kills marriages. And because they cannot communicate their needs and their wants to each other, they are burying it. Everybody's burying it. Everybody's burying it. Everybody's burying it. And the truth of the matter is that every time you sweep dirt under the rug, you keep sweeping. One day, the rug will burst, and everything that will come out will be rotten. Will be rotten. And by that time, you cannot start washing it. Wash that rug may take maybe years to wash it. To even get a new rug, you will still need to clean the whole of that space. Even if you get a new rug, you still need to clean the whole of that space. You spray a little disinfectant here and there before you're able to place the new rug. Because if you buy a new rug and place it without cleaning up where the old rug was, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. So these are some of the realities that we are not told that happen
Yeah.
in marriage.
Yeah.
All you just hear is when you're single, don't have sex. When you're married, have just be happy. Just be happy. Everybody's expectation that you're just doing it, but nobody's telling you how to do it, what to do it right, and make it work. There's a whole lot to unpack. But you see, this communication thing, it's very vital. The next way to build intimacy is to avoid unresolved issues. Avoid unresolved issues. Talked about sweeping things under the rug. When something happens, talk about it. Have fruitful moments. Those moments where, so we agree, we're not going to argue,
Yeah.
we're not going to defend. You are not, so we are just going to listen to each other. Say it as it is. Don't, you're not allowed to take offense in this conversation we're having now. You're not allowed to take offense. So set up a safe where you and your spouse can bear it all and be vulnerable with each other. If it's the fact that they did not send money to your mother 10 years ago, talk it. Say it and say how it made you feel. I had a couple one time. The man is in the military, man is in the army. So I had an opportunity to speak at the Army Officers' Wives Association meeting and stuff. And then she reached out to me that her husband came back. She couldn't have sex with him. That
Ah.
nothing he did. Can you hear me?
Yes, you said she couldn't have sex with him because.
That nothing he did turned her on. And so she was wondering what the problem was. So she called me and I asked her, I said, "Are you angry with your husband?" She said, "No." I said, "No, no, 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 no. Are you angry with your husband?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, talk to me. Let's talk about your husband." By the time she had said like four or five things, the anger started coming out.
Yeah.
So what was the issue? He had postponed his coming back 3 times.
Oh, wow.
So he said, I'm coming back next month. So that next month, she had prepared, she accepted herself because I was teaching them how to shut down when their
Mm,
husbands are around. And then when their husbands are coming, how they will prepare for their husbands and send their children to holiday. So teaching them techniques on, And then she said, so that she's used to that already. Once he's not around, she just tells herself that he's not around.
yeah.
And that's it. But when he's coming back, she starts like a week preparing herself. So
Getting into the mood.
she had prepared herself for him and he postponed his coming back. So she shut down. The second time again, she did it again. He postponed it, he shut down. And the third time, she has said, you know what? Anything that will happen will happen. So now her mind was protecting her body from the ache of not meeting with her husband.
Mm,
At the moment he came, she wasn't prepared, she wasn't excited, nothing. And then she kept going, how can he do that? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I told you you're upset with your husband. And she kept on said, really, I didn't even know I was this upset. I said, that's the problem. You need to be able to have a conversation with him. Let him know exactly how these things he has done has made you feel.
mm,
By the time you release yourself, body, your body by the next week, she was calling me. Can I imagine? And he's going back now. And now, blah, 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 blah. I say, Wahala, not too much like this. If to say you talk since, you would have been ready for him by the time he came. You see, by the time she told him, he was like, really? He he had no clue that what he was doing was affecting her. And he wasn't doing it deliberately.
sometimes a lot of us get angry, and who we are angry with doesn't even know that we're angry. And
Anger is a wasted emotion.
they don't even know it's making you angrier. I
He,
get it.
he didn't know. He didn't even know that, as in, it wasn't deliberate. It's just how the whole posting thing happened. So it
Yeah.
wasn't deliberate. So he didn't even know that it was affecting her.
Yeah.
You know, so by the time they had had the conversation and he had apologized and everything, she was flowing with milk and honey. And but he had 2 days to go back.
Mm.
But the good thing now was that that 2 days was spent, enjoying each other.
Yeah.
My time she was so excited. The little things that we don't take cognizance of.
Mm.
So the way to build intimacy is to avoid unresolved issues. If there's an issue, deal with it. No matter how tiny you think it is. Now, the largest sex organ is the mind. I keep saying this, if your mind cannot conceive it, your body cannot carry it out.
Yeah.
If you have thought it in your mind, well, your mind, that there's some people that go into a coma, right? And then they try to revive them and all what. You see that, oh, the mental series. You see that the person is awake, but the body is not moving. Doctors will now say that they've done all they can do medically. It's time to put this person in psychology, where they now have to deal with the person mentally. Such situations, the person's mind has shut down. The
Mm.
body is awake, but it's the mind that carries the body. You see
Yeah.
the situation where people say, oh, experiencing dryness all of a sudden. Check yourself, check your relationship. If there's a problem in your relationship, your body will protect you as a woman. Even as a man. So might tell you
That's.
that, oh, they just all of a sudden they developed erectile dysfunction, and they've
Mm.
been good, no problems, no issues. Why? There is an issue in the marriage, and when there's an issue in the marriage, the person has started testing the other person. So no matter how much you swing, buy lingerie, bend down, do anything you want to do, walk around naked in the house, the man will not have an erection because at that point he's upset with you.
He's not happy with you. Yeah.
So, like I tell people, I say, if your marriage works, your bed will work. Now, if your marriage is sincerely working and the bed is really not working, there's hope. You know why? Because both
Mm.
of you will now be open to get help together.
Yeah.
But when the marriage is not working and the bed is seemingly working, one day one person will start feeling used and then start derailing. Before you know it, there's a total shutdown. And
Mm.
when the total shuts down, you find out that unresolved issues. So, like I always say to couples, heal your marriage first. Your bed will
Mm.
work. If you
Mm.
heal your marriage, your bed will work. But if you are
Mm-hmm.
using your bed to try to heal your marriage, you are ruining your marriage further.
Yeah.
You are
So if
ruining your marriage further.
working, the bed will work. Wow.
Yes. Yes. And so I've mentioned quality time, I've mentioned communication,
Communication.
I've mentioned what did I just talk about
Respect.
now? Issues, unresolved
Um,
issues, right? And then
yeah.
number four, remember that you are in a covenant with each other.
Yeah.
You are in a covenant with each other. I say this, and this is the reason why I say this. A lot of us spend time building our lives around our children.
Mm.
That's it, that's the mistake a lot of our parents did.
Mm.
That now they are calling you, where are you? This, that. Forget that you're inside husband house.
Mm-hmm.
The time they were supposed to be building that bond with their husbands, or their
Mm.
wives. They were using
Mm.
build children.
Their
And just
children,
like
yeah.
the children will grow and go. Remember that you're in a covenant with your spouse and not your children. I hear people tell me, my year old is sleeping in bed. I'm like, why? Why? What is he or she doing there? Why? Far is it far? 2 days ago, someone was telling me that that she misses early morning. I feel like see her daughter is in her bed. I said, you never ready. God will never hungry you.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like leaving maid. Oh, oh, I said, see, everything you have said now are just excuses. You don't like a living maid, okay, but she has a room. Train her to sleep in her room. You can put
Mm.
on the baby monitor, put on the camera, everything you want to do, but you need to start training the child in her room. I have a 5 year old.
Yeah.
He wakes me up. That's to tell you. So
Yeah.
I have an open door policy in my house. My room
Mm.
door is open, their room door is open. So everybody has access. They know they can come into my room at any time. I can go into their room at any time. As in there's no kidding for that. Right. When we sleep with their room, then that's 6 a.m. That's how I know that it's 6 a.m. I, in the my subconscious, I will hear tiny footprints ta, 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 on the tiles, running from his room to my room, jump on my bed. Gradually, you see that part, we will soon erase it. We will soon erase that part. Gradually, we will soon erase that part. But now he knows that it's in his room. See that between that 8:30, that is their bedtime, and
Yeah.
6 a.m. Now we have cuddle where we now. Enough cuddle and all the things we want to do. Enough. Yeah.
Yeah. What you just said is like really true with children. I also want you to touch on when a couple has have separate rooms. A
Why
woman
do you
can
have
have
separate rooms?
what?
Why do you have separate rooms?
Okay, there is this school of thought that sometimes a man may not really want to. You know, women, we have a lot of properties, a lot
In
of clothes, all that. So it's
mm,
always advisable if you can afford it to have a separate room where you pack your stuff, where you go to take care of yourself. Then at night, you go. Is that a no?
if you wanted to be alone, stay single.
Yeah,
See, the moment you said I do, you have given up that right and role of alone time. Alone time is with your spouse. You were alone it. Do you understand?
yeah,
Unless it's that alone time with you and Jesus. Now I understand
mm,
what you're saying. Women have clothes, they always have a wardrobe spill. And, oh, I have it.
yeah,
But I don't sit there. So it's something we grew up with. My parents had separate rooms. How they had children, I don't know, but they had separate rooms. So there was mommy room and there was daddy's room and there was children. Till tomorrow, safe. I just came back from their house. Till tomorrow, my father has his room and he locks it. My mother has her room and she locks it. And then there's the children's room, you know. But you see, it causes division. There's kind of quarrel or misunderstanding we have that body contact can solve. Body contact will not sex. Body contact will solve. But you see, the moment you say, you are angry, person enter the room, lock the door back. So enter the room, lock the door back. You have given the devil room to breathe. I do not advise separate rooms. As much as your wardrobe want to spill, it can spill into four bedrooms. Eh? But you sleep in your in your room, your matrimonial room that you and your husband sleep. You sleep there. You sleep there. Oh, are there times where you just want to want to go and maybe study a bit and fellowship a bit? Good. You fellowship finish and you come back into your bedroom with your husband and sleep in your bedroom with your husband. There are times like that. There was a time where my matrimonial bedroom was so cold for me, and my husband likes cold. Me, I don't like cold, right? And so that period, I would just kiss him good night, and I'll go to the room that's supposed to be my wardrobe and go and lie down there. One day he passed, he say, "You don't dey get room for this house." I said, "Ah, no, nah, it's not like that. Ah, no, it's not like that." The second day, he said, the third day, he brought his pillow and came to sleep there. Since we want to change our room, let's let move it. Let's because now from clap, nine dance they start. Before you know it, you get comfortable with being apart from each other. And the Bible says, two shall become one. 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 One speaks of spirit, soul, body, location. Let me not enter there. Because when we come to that partner, you will now start hearing say, "Well, what if my husband is in the abroad, went to look for greener pasture?" The grass is green where you water it. It's no greener anywhere. It's greener where it's maintained, where it's tended, where it's watered. That's where the grass is greener. Yeah,
She's
muted.
great. Thank you so much, Mom. If you have questions, please kindly ask in the comments so that we can take the questions of the people who are live on the session. So thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Nurse Mona Charles. Thank you, Uncle Timothy. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Temi T. Thank you, Maureen. Thank you, every other person who have joined. Okay, I hope I'm not missing out anyone. So if you have questions, please kindly ask in the comments so that we can take them. While we're waiting for your questions, I have a lot I want to ask her because I have gotten tons of questions that I also want to hear from a professional perspective before we round up in the next 9 minutes. So we've talked about someone having separate rooms and all that. Then we've also talked about the issue of couples who are quarreling. But there is something I would want to get your input on, ma, and that is what if your partner is expecting you to do something that you actually do not like? Things probably like oral sex or introducing sex toys, sex toys into the bedroom. So he's saying or she's saying, let's try this or I want this, but your personal belief. There are a lot of people who believe that they shouldn't go oral. There are just a lot, maybe upbringing and all that. So I want you to touch on the issue of oral sex or any other thing that your partner may want you to do that you are not at peace with. How do you handle that? And then how do you handle um, the issue of sex toys?
Okay. So um, I'm echoing.
Okay. I guess my device close. Try again.
Okay. I said I'm still echoing. Maybe you should just mute yourself. Mute yourself. Okay. Great. Um, on oral sex, I personally don't have anything wrong. Don't see anything wrong with oral sex. The Bible does not say anything wrong about oral sex. I think where a lot of people have a problem with oral sex is hygiene. But the issue is that they don't come out and say clearly that it's hygiene that is a problem. right? And so they now decide to disturb all of us that are not having problem with it. I have a video on YouTube because I usually this question always comes up in every meeting with married people: oral sex. Now, read Songs of Solomon 4:16 and read Songs of Solomon 2:5. That answers your question on oral sex. Now, if you have an issue with it and you don't want to do it, it's fine. It's okay. The Bible says that all things are lawful, not all things are expedient. It's okay if you don't want to do it. It's fine. Just make sure that you and your spouse are in agreement with it, that we are not doing it. But if you have a spouse that wants to, and you'll be praying that you either come up to start liking it, or your spouse comes down to say, you know what, we're not doing it. I agree with you, we're not doing it. Because that's where the issue usually is, the disparity of desire, where one person wants it and the other person does not want it. That's where the problem usually is. When it comes to hygiene, it's actually okay, right? Just make sure that your personal hygiene is top notch. It's okay to have a shower before, right? Or it's okay to even do it in the shower. Water will wash away everything. Water washes away everything. Wash away everything and you're good. If you have a problem with the taste of skin in your mouth, get whipped cream or get a favorite lollipop, your favorite taste, what's that thing, maybe flavoring, and put it in your mouth and you're good. But again, it's not by force. Because everybody is saying it does not mean everybody is doing it. And it also does not mean that you must do it. Just to be clear. Then, if you still want further clarity, I have a video on my YouTube channel titled Oral Sex, Sex Toys, and Other Unspeakable Things. That video was shot by my pastor, Pastor Kingsley Gogo. So he has demystified it in that video. That video has all the answers on it. Right? Then on sex toys. Now, the issue with sex toys, is the introduction of a third party into your bed. A lot of people beg to differ. Say it's not a third party, not a human being, it's an inanimate object. Blah, 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 blah. So there's a principle. Whatever you are doing with your spouse, is it bringing you together? Because one of the goal of sex is bonding. Is it bringing both of you together? Is it this thing you want to do, will it bring shame and guilt to both of you? This is your litmus test for whatever you want to do in your bedroom. One, is it bringing both of you together? Two, is it bringing shame or guilt to both of you? Right? Three, is it addictive? Is it addictive? Four, the fourth one is it detrimental to your health? Now, sex toys is on the opposite side of this whole criteria I've given. It does not bring it together. It brings guilt and shame. Because by the time you start doing it, one party starts feeling not good enough. You now start comparing human being to machine or to finger button. I, I can't hear you. You sound far away.
Okay. All right. Um, that's the challenge with sex toys. There are a lot
Yeah.
of things that you can't control a human being like you can control a machine. And one of the issues with it is that when your pleasure is not fenced, if you are looking for pleasure in any way, in any route, with anything you see, you're actually going to miss your way. Because I believe that sex and the pleasure of sex is not just about the pleasure itself, it's about who it is coming from, and also the boundaries in which it was done. Before you know it, you start having insatiable desires that your partner will not even be able to fulfill. So your if the machine is not around, you can't have orgasm, or you can't have a pleasurable sex, like, and before you know it, a machine is now replacing your partner. And then we have another question here. Ebunoluwa said, what do you do when your husband sees you as a competition in everything? I don't know how we answer this.
This one also have to do with sex now. This one is a marriage matter. This one is a
Yeah.
marriage matter. And the question is, why does he see you as a competition? That's the question. Why does he see you as a competition? Um, and the question is also not complete. We can't really answer it until we talk to both parties.
Mm,
Sometimes one person is saying that this person is seeing him as competition. The other person is saying as, you know what, I need to do well because this person is challenging me. Not necessarily
mm.
as competition, as a negative competition, can also be a healthy competition. Do you understand? So you need to actually sit down and have a conversation or get a counselor.
Okay. So I hope we do not have further questions because we are 1 minute ahead of our time. We have finished. We should have ended by 10 o'clock. Do we have any further questions? And if there are no other questions to ask, Ma, please can you drop your social media handles for us? Tell us how we can locate you. Do you have materials we could buy or anything that we
Oh,
can connect to you?
is my handle not showing on the screen?
Yeah, it is hold at wholesome sexuality.
Yes, that's my handle everywhere.
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. That's the handle. Wholesome sexuality.
Okay, so thank you everyone. You've heard her. If you want to find her on YouTube, she talked about having a video particularly on sex toys, on oral sex, and all that. Then you can find her. She's very active on Instagram. I follow her a lot on Instagram. Yes, you can find her on Instagram at wholesome sexuality. Please, let's show her love. Let's follow her all around. And thank you guys for joining. Ebonoluwa, we are going to talk a lot on this because we need a lot of background to be able to answer your question. And what do we say to Mama? Please, let's appreciate her in the comment section. Let's show her love. Thank you, Ma. Thank you from every one
Thank
of us at Couples Connect. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for the support. Thank you for, we know it's a huge sacrifice, especially on a Sunday. She's a very busy person that she made it to be here. So thank you, Ma. We really, really appreciate you, and you made a difference in our lives. And thank you everyone for joining. It's a goodbye from every one of us here. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. See you. See you guys. Bye. Bye. So guys, she's left. Did you do the appreciation? We'll stop at 10:05. Let's get feedback. Were you able to appreciate your partner? Did you appreciate your partner? Did you tell them 3 things you like about them? What was their response quickly so that we can edit? So Mary Ann, okay, said, what if the other partner doesn't allow you to sleep, Ebunoluwa? Okay, If your partner does not allow you to sleep, first of all, that's everything hinges on communication. You need to talk with him, okay, and ensure that, or even set a time for sex. Okay, so I don't think anyone wants to keep having sex all through the night. So you need to probably sacrifice a few minutes of your time to actually satisfy them, or communicate to them and tell them how much you need to sleep, and maybe you will schedule it in the morning. It's all about communication, okay? But if there are further questions that you may need to ask, please ask in the WhatsApp group. We want to end this now, okay? So see you guys, and thank you. It's a goodbye from every one of us, and thank you for joining. Bye bye.